This TikToker takes 6 a.m. flights to class.
Come fly to class with me. Every week I hop on a 6 a.m. flight.
The reason for this is because she works in New York, but she gets her schooling done in Chicago.
I work full-time in New York City. I live in New York City. I go to school in Chicago.
You're probably sitting there having a bunch of questions you want answered, like she can't do either one of them remotely. How much does all of this cost? Or the question we're really trying to get to the bottom of, why? I promise you all of your questions will be answered, but first let me go ahead and show you the TikTok in its entirety so you can get the full scope of the situation we're dealing with.
Come fly to class with me. Every week I hop on a 6 a.m. flight, use the time to study for my class, popped on my favorite podcast, Ubered down to campus in Chicago. This was me in class. It was actually our last class of the quarter. Then I grabbed some lunch and hopped right back onto my flight back to New York City. I desperately needed groceries, so I Ubered straight from the airport to Trader Joe's. And then I Ubered home, got ready for bed, and knocked out.
I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know what's more outrageous, the TikTok we just watched or the fact that yes, you right there watching this video right now, the fact that you are not subscribed. I don't know which one's more out of pocket. If you ask me personally, I'm leaning towards the fact that you are not subscribed to the channel. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, man. Press that red button over there or over there. It doesn't matter. Just click on it. I digress. Let's go ahead and get back on the topic at hand. I just wanted to real quickly just imagine she did all of that just for her class to be canceled. You booked a whole flight, right? Flights are not cheap now, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Especially the economy in right now, flights are not cheap, okay? All right, you book a flight, you get on said flight, you touch down in Chicago, you order an Uber, and I don't know how far of a distance that Uber drive is, but it's quite a bit of ways probably. You get on that Uber, you drive over to campus, you walk over to your class, all for you to roll up on the door and see that white piece of paper taped on the front of the door saying, yeah, so class is kind of canceled for today. I'm kind of feeling under the weather. Well, what do you mean under the weather? Ain't no way I pulled up to a whole new city for no reason. Hey, I'm gonna tell the professor like this, you better pop a Benadryl or something, because I am not leaving here without getting educated. I promise you that. I'm leaving here with something. Y'all, when I tell you the episode I'm gonna be having when I see that piece of paper, I'm gonna make Fouseytube look like the most sanest person on the world. Y'all remember what he did on July 15th, right? Fouseytube? I'm putting that to shame. I tell you. All right, before I go ahead and show you guys her explanation on why she would do such a thing, I do want to give a quick disclaimer by saying I don't have a problem with what she's doing. Quite frankly, between me and you, I could give a rat's booty butt cheek what she does with her time and money. Hey, as long as you have the facilities and the means to do so, more power to you. Go off, sis. It's giving very much girl boss. Me being the broke individual I am, this was so out of my realm of belief, I just had to make a video on it. Now, let me go ahead and show you guys these two TikToks where this lady would go on to answer some FAQs.
I did not expect that last video to blow up the way that it did, and I got a lot of questions. A lot of them are the same questions, so I figured it might just be easier to answer all the different questions I got here.
Hey guys, it's me again. Sorry for the interruption. I just wanted to interject and say real quick, do you know what I hate? Do you know what really grinds my gears? When these follow-up TikToks that these creators make after a video goes viral, the first thing that comes out of their mouth in this video, they said, oh my gosh, I did not expect that video to blow up like that. Like, come on, man. Like, shut up with all of that malarkey, man. You mean to tell me you made a TikTok where you talked about you taking 6 a.m. flights to your college classes? You didn't think that TikTok would do numbers? Like, who is you fooling, bro? Come on. But yeah, that's all I had to say. Sorry for the quick rant. Let's go ahead and get back into our regular scheduled programming.
The biggest question was why? Like, what would possess me to do this? For context, I work full-time in New York City. I live in New York City. I go to school in Chicago. A lot of people ask why I don't do either remotely. If I could take my course remotely, I absolutely would, but the class I have this semester are not remote. My job is also not remote. I think that there might be some confusion because of my travel TikToks in which I talk about traveling as a remote worker. I have gotten a new job since then, so I don't work that same job anymore. So that's why I have to go back and forth between the two. A lot of people ask, why not just go to a school in New York? There are absolutely schools in New York. I got into my dream school. I was gonna go to my dream school. This school has the top marketing program in the US. It's the #2 business school in the US. So just because I could go to a school in New York, like why would I? To me, even if that was less money, I consider it a waste just to go to an institution just because versus going to an institution I actually want to go to and that aligns with like what my goals and my expectations out of a master's program is. A lot of people ask why I wouldn't just move to Chicago. As I mentioned, I do have to be in person for my job and I love my job. I'm extremely passionate about my job. So that's why I wouldn't sacrifice my job. I also would never go to school and not work full time. I would not be able to afford school if I didn't have a full-time job.
First off, I do want to say congratulations on getting accepted to your dream school. There are so many people out there that would love to be in your shoes right now. Shoot, I wish I was able to go to my dream college, but you know, life happens and you go ahead and look at that bank account and be like, I don't think I can afford the tuition. I really wanted to go to fall sale, but yeah, them boys, them boys be taxing over there. So let me go ahead and start it off with I'm happy for you, congratulations. But I do want to tackle the argument of you saying, yeah, I don't want to go to a school in New York just cause. It's not a just cause. It's so it can make your life easier. Like you're telling me you can't find a school in New York that has a prominent marketing program or is considered a top tier business school? Cause let's go ahead and indulge in some hypotheticals, right? Let's go ahead and just say Harvard is the greatest school of all time. It's the best school you can go for anything, whether that's rizology, grape stomping, or philosophy. Genuinely, what is the difference between you going to Harvard or going to another one of the other Ivy League schools like Princeton, Brown, or Yale? Especially if it's gonna help you cut down on cost. Shoot, I got another school for you. How about the Harvard of the South, Vanderbilt, or Georgia Tech? Like, do you guys understand what I'm trying to get at? Let me go ahead and take it to basketball, for instance, right? Let's just say I'm starting an NBA franchise and they tell me, hey, you can start your franchise with everyone except Nikola Jokic, right? I'm gonna be sad for a bit. I'm gonna be depressed because I would love for him to be the cornerstone of my franchise, but I'm not gonna be sad and depressed for too long because I don't mind that cornerstone being LeBron, Luka, or Giannis. Like I could talk y'all's ears off with a bunch of hypotheticals that are running through my head right now, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm trying to like pick at, you know? So let's go ahead and get back into her explanation, man. My apologies for rambling.
The thing a lot of people are asking is the money, like how am I affording to do this? Or isn't it expensive, things like that. It absolutely is expensive. It hurts my bank account every day, believe me. I, like I said, work full time, so thankfully I'm able to pay my expenses out of my salary. A lot of people were confused and thought like maybe I'm doing this because it's a cheaper alternative.
No, it can't be, because the cheaper alternative would be you going to school in New York.
Or maybe I'm like staying with my family and then flying out to class. For context, I don't have, like my family does not even live in Illinois or New York. I don't live with my family. I have my own apartment with a roommate. I do pay my own rent expenses, all my bills, and then of course all my like transportation costs for school, all the things that come with that. So I am like financially supporting myself and I do pay that out of my salary. I feel really grateful to be able to do that. I know that that's a privilege. I definitely had to budget like very strictly to make this happen. But again, this is my dream school. I'm a very ambitious person. I have really big goals that I want this degree and this career to accomplish. So for me, I was more than willing to make the financial sacrifice to further my future.
I promise you, I just feel like I'm beating the crap out of a dead horse right now, man. You can still be ambitious. You can still accomplish whatever goals you had set for yourself if you go to a school in New York, a place where you wouldn't have to do all of these financial sacrifices you've been doing. I get it. I understand. You got accepted to your dream school. That is phenomenal. You got accepted to a school that's tops in the program you're interested in. You got accepted to a school that is ranked second as a business school in the whole of America. I understand it all, but The thing is, for me, is you going to a school that's not that doesn't mean you're compromising. That doesn't mean you're doing yourself a disservice. I would have preferred if you got on that camera and just said, hey, you guys, I understand it's kind of crazy that I take flights to go to my college classes, but the thing you guys gotta have to understand is that is my dream school. I've been wanting to go to that school for the longest, like basically almost my whole life. So when I got accepted there was nothing that was gonna stop me from going to that school. And yes, I understand that my work is in New York, but like I said, there was nothing in this universe that was gonna stop me from going to that class. I don't care if the job I had is on the outskirts of the Milky Way. I was gonna find a way to make it to those classes on time. If you said that, I would have respected your pimping. I would have just been like, you know what? I can't even get mad. Hey, that's sheer heart and determination. You gotta respect it. But no, you're over here giving us this malarkey. I'm not buying it, player. Sorry.
A lot of people asked about like how much the flights cost, the Ubers cost, or like what my monthly budget looks like, or what I spend in a week doing all of this. I will do another video where I do like a what I spend in the week at a high level. Lately, if you're not last minute like me, you could probably get better prices potentially, but for me, I spend about $500 to $550 for each round trip flight. Again, I'm super last minute and tend to buy them the week of or the week right before. And it is also summer, because when I was looking at flights for next quarter, it does seem like they're gonna go down a bit. So my Ubers in New York from my apartment to the airport, and then also when I land back in New York from the airport back to my apartment, range anywhere from $30 to $55 each. I cover those as well. The Ubers, once I land in Chicago on my way to campus and then back from campus to the airport in Chicago, those are covered by my school fees. So essentially the school gives us an Uber voucher, which again, covered in the fees that you pay for your school. Breakfast, lunch also supplied by my school before and after classes, again, covered in your school fees. If I stay in a hotel, it's anywhere from $250 to $500 a night. I have completely stopped doing that unless there's like an event after classes, or like sometimes they do different networking things, social things. If I know ahead of time that there's gonna be one of those, then I'll do that. But otherwise, I really try to just book class and come back in the same day to just save that like additional expense. If I forgot something, feel free to drop it here. I'm honestly more than happy to share like the details.
Okay, class, go ahead and get out your calculators and notebooks. We're about to do some quick maths, okay? Let's go ahead and calculate on the low end how much she's spending to go to these classes, right? So let's just say hypothetically she's going once a week, even though for me, for instance, I go to school twice a week, all right? But let's just say this class is a hybrid, so she only goes there once a week, right? Let's just say that. If we calculate the low end of how much her flights cost and then the low end of how much her Ubers cost for her to go from her house to the airport, that would be a grand total of $530. If we multiply that with the number of weeks there are in a month, which is 4, that will come to a grand total of 2,120. And usually a semester lasts about 5 months, maybe, I believe. So if we multiply 5 times 2,120, that comes out to a grand total of $10,600. Just to put that in perspective, the first job I ever had, I worked at Kroger, and they gave me full-time hours. I was working 40 hours a week. They were paying me minimum wage, and I live in Georgia, so the minimum wage is minimum wage. I got paid $7.25 an hour. She is spending more money this semester for her to go to her classes than I was making at my first job at Kroger after a year. Alright, to wrap up this video, I just wanted to say the reason why she was doing all of this, like you heard in the video, is because the classes that she was taking this semester, they can't be done online. So, I wish her the best, and hopefully her future classes can all be done online so she doesn't have to go through all of this again.